Does anybody need one?
I have one today.
I have one today. Yes, you might.
Thank you.
I'll go down here. Oh, sorry. There you go, Mary. Thanks. I got one. You got it? Oh, okay.
Just trying to figure out where to put
You
my
need
recorder.
one? I have
Stick it up there.
Okay.
Yeah, just right there on the table.
Do we have a question?
That one.
So we have a quorum. We'll start with our introduction of our guests. We always ask our guests to introduce themselves.
Robert Mayer, Nelson County.
Joe Armstrong, Nelson County.
Okay.
Kevin Clements.
Fred Grumbie.
Okay.
Keisha Copeland.
Jim Brooks.
We have our usual. Does anyone like to have a comment today?
Yeah, for those that were not here the other time, 3 months ago, for every abortion, there's up to 8 people's human rights to consider. The mother, the baby, the father, God, who's a person, and up to 4 grandparents, would-be grandparents who may never get to hold a little one.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Next, we'll have the approval of the agenda.
Make motion. Second.
Do we have a motion? Oh, and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The first item is the approval of minutes from the last meeting, or the second item. And I do have my printer went blank on it there. Do we have a motion for approval of minutes?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes. I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The next item is the treasurer's report. And with that, I will say that our treasurer isn't here, his son is sick. So he's on daddy duty today. And also Sidney Shouse, he called yesterday to say that he's in Baltimore, so he's not able to come today. In regard to the treasurer's report, it's not changed since the last meeting. And so the balance remains $6,231.74. And then Michael said that he did send the annual report to the city and the county. And I believe in the standard it was mentioned, the city council minutes.
Yes.
Oh, no, said that amount. Our next item is the chairperson's report, and I don't want to infringe on someone else's report. Oh, let's approve the treasurer's report.
I move to approve the treasurer's report. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The Sisters of Charities were contacted regarding their human trafficking training that, you know, they have available. And they were coming to the meeting today, actually. But then they called back to say they would may have to wait until the October meeting because one of them had a sick person in the family. A lot of sickness going around. So I didn't see any here today, so I'm assuming they will come in October. Michael talked to them and said that we wanted to be informed about human trafficking, its problems in Kentucky, and you know, what we can do. And he said that you know, we could be trained at a meeting, or we could help them sponsor a workshop, which would be a half-day training that would be open to the public. So, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, we could do both. I think they're coming to the next meeting.
It'd be nice to kind of get the training ourselves and see,
That's what I would be thinking too.
because remember what happened in our last training?
Yeah.
Nobody came to it.
Yeah.
And the human trafficking, while I think it's important for us to know about it, and it's an important issue going on, it's not directly related to what we're doing either. So, I mean, to the commission's role. So I don't know as
Yeah,
far as
parameters.
sponsoring the public,
That's a
thing,
thought.
but you know.
We could take
Yeah,
the
we
training
definitely
ourselves,
do training,
because we have to
yeah.
take so many hours anyway, don't
You have to have one training session per year, at least. I mean,
I would like to have them at the meeting for sure. And, you know, we could see what kind of public interest we've got, but publicizing informational things like this seems to be an uphill battle.
Okay. So, we can expect them here at the October meeting, but listen to what they have to say. And we'll see, you know, what their interests are. So, he did tell me something about the, essay committee, but I don't want to steal you all steam. You want to report, or I can tell you what he said?
That'd be fine. I mean, if we have anything to add, we can add to that, if he's already written it out for you.
And then you all can keep me straight that I got this right. He said the date of the essay contest has been changed to November the 16th at the Civic Center. So far, so good.
yes, ma'am.
The reason that the date was changed was the last date was the day before Election Day. And also, by changing the date, we would have an opportunity to meet again before the, you know, before we had the event. And then the committee is asking for a $1,500 budget for the event.
What were you doing?
Yes.
Okay, and then he said he would meet we would, you know, the whole commission would have to approve it. The budget with the commissioner's approval is advertising $600, awards and the plaques and the money awards, $550, and catering, $100, and miscellaneous, invitations, programs, decorations, etc., $250.
Did he also mention to you, Kathy, that that we had thought about having a third prize as well, third place prize?
Oh,
I just didn't know if.
okay, here we go. Essay prizes.
That might just,
Mhm.
we've always done 2 prizes here. He thought maybe we should have a third place, and just so y'all would have known what we came up with in that meeting.
Yes. He said the essay prizes, first place $100, second place $75, and third place $50.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And of course, there's 2 categories. There's a high school and a middle school.
Okay. So did we get the awards amounts added up right then? Yeah, well, let's see, $550 is what he said.
I think you probably sent it to everybody, you know, the essay committee.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You send that over there.
Oh, I guess, she probably has one, but I just wanted her to be able to see it. That-
I just had a copy of an email. Did you see that?
That's
Oh,
what's,
okay.
that plus a rubric for the evaluation of the essays of what was sent to the schools.
Oh, okay.
So, it details it.
All right. Well, is this your only copy? Yeah.
I have another, I mean, I can print it out and keep it.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
So it says, the prompt is, every country has signed a document declaring the recognition of the inherent dignity and of the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family. And it is the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace in the world. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights set forth a list of these rights and freedom, and then explain which of the rights listed within the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is most important.
That's all right.
And what would happen if it were not protected? And then there's 30 of them listed. So they have a good
Yeah.
selection.
Hopefully a good variety.
Okay, and,
That's how we're gonna judge them, but I don't think
and then they say all entries must be received by October the 2nd, 2015. Okay. What else did he say? He said that he sent some information to Trey Crombie.
I received it.
And then he has also talked to the Standard Advertising Department about some costs. So he said you will meet again in a couple of weeks and he will talk to you about those things. All right. Thank you. Is there anything else about the essay contest?
What about the nomination of the person for the award? We also talked about that.
Yeah.
And we are seeking, some thoughts on that, people that, people and or organizations that are deserving of that or a consideration for that. That was the other half of our meeting last night.
Were we going to try to pick somebody at the October meeting?
I don't know that we said that firmly, did we, Michael? I think we just talked about trying to reach out and find people and or organizations that we felt were worthy, and then we were given some examples of who had gotten it in the past, including, the lady you just mentioned earlier, Rosie and Alexa.
Yeah, for the concerned parents.
Are we going to do that?
Well,
Yeah,
we are including that, yes.
Yeah, I think each of us were supposed to, at our next committee meeting, we're gonna have each of us come with one
Mhm.
group in mind at least, and then
Now here it
discuss.
comes.
So we were thinking of, but
So then you would need, if you're not coming to the committee meeting, you would need to submit some names to them before then.
yeah. So you could email them to us and
Yeah.
ideas.
Email.
Yeah.
Would you kind of send a reminder or prompt?
Okay.
and I'm in charge of making the program, but I realized I can't really put anything on there, so I know who wins and, you know, the names, so I'll go ahead and get a skeleton of that, hopefully have that at the next meeting and make sure you all approve my abilities to draft the program. Hopefully it'll be okay. I can't fill it in until we have the people selected, so I'll just make a skeleton.
All right. Sounds good. Anything else about the boards?
The budget, do we need to vote on that today, or to approve it, or vote on that next meeting?
I'm asking committee, you all want us to vote on it today?
I think we should.
I do.
Okay. All right, then we need a motion to approve the $1,500
Is there
budget.
anybody here that's not on the committee except me? I make a motion
Kelly,
to approve it.
Oh, I know.
Hearns and Michael Greenwell.
Okay. Carrie, you're on it, aren't you? I make a motion we approve.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it.
Sorry, who seconded that?
I
You did?
And we will have another meeting. We may have to spend more money if, you know, with the advertising company. Do you have a report?
I have no report.
No report.
Or nothing.
And I have no report.
Can I get it?
Sorry.
I haven't heard from Michael Yaden, so I have no report. Does anyone else have on the fairness and
Pastor.
ordinance and all that? Okay. Is there any other business?
I want to ask a question. Are those the people that, you have the names for the organizations of, do you have the names of some of them already?
I'm not really familiar with.
All we did in our discussion, what we did was we asked, because several of us were new, for examples of who had won it before.
Mhm.
And we were given 4 examples, and just so, because y'all might not know either. One of them was the Sisters of Charity for their work in human trafficking. One was Joseph Girontanella for his work with Haiti. Rosie Dodson for, what was it, Concerned Parents?
Concerned parents for the.
And who's the other one I'm leaving out?
I mean,
4 examples.
I don't recall.
And most of them, well, I think all of them were individuals who were associated with an organization that we felt was doing something, or that previous people thought were doing something that associated with human rights. And Michael said it was sort of a struggle to get people to nominate that we'd ask in the paper in past years and so on. So we're actively seeking nominations. If you can think of someone that you think is worthy of consideration.
For what? You lost me. I didn't hear the last.
We're seeking names of people and/or organizations that have actively contributed to human rights, the advancement of human rights in our area, or it's not just our area, is it? It really.
On the county.
Our community, yes.
It must-
Somebody
County.
here.
But with someone from
Okay,
here,
I
but
got you.
with specific application to people in our community, you know, and we're looking for folks who.
County too, right?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
for example, like with the human trafficking,
Mhm.
you know, that's a broader scope, but of
Oh,
course it
yeah.
has implications for us.
That's good.
But as of right now, I mean, like, I've kind of put out some feelers for ideas from people that I thought were civic-minded and so on, but we don't have a list, do we?
No, not yet.
No, but we
Still
have
in the
you
process.
think, contribute, give us some ideas.
You could, like you said, you can email it if you want to, because we will probably meet again possibly before the next meeting.
We do, we've got a meeting in 2 weeks, on
2 weeks,
Tuesday,
okay.
don't we?
That's what I thought. I knew it was sometime before the next meeting. It's 2 weeks.
Yeah, because we're gonna talk about that. Try to bring at least one name apiece, but, you know,
Yes.
the more the better.
And it can be an individual or it can be
Uh,
an organization.
Mhm. And then we'll bring that back to the larger group and vote on it, is the way I understand the process, correct, Kathy?
Yes. And we had put it, in the past, we had you know, put forms in the paper like they do.
Like in,
Have we ever
what's
done
going
the Sisters of Charity?
Yeah,
Yes.
for human trafficking.
Oh, years ago, did we ever give them some,
We did. for
have
human
they been on our
trafficking.
list? Oh, yeah.
Mhm. But only for human, you know, for their work with human trafficking.
do you remember anybody else, Kathy, that's received it in the past, how long it's gone on, or, you know?
I think we've given out 4 awards, but I can't.
Okay.
Don't know if I have one. Let's see. Okay. Any other questions?
In the minutes,
Mhm.
there's something, Keisha had mentioned something about a Dr. Kwong. Do you know anything more about that?
We don't have a specific date yet.
Okay.
It's gonna be in October, but I would definitely let you guys know as soon as possible. It's called Building a Better Bardstown. And I had misspoke in the council meeting and said it was anti-racism. It just slipped my mind. So, but it's called Building a Better Bardstown, and it deals with just a lot of components, sexism, just a lot of areas, and you break down into groups, and you have a minute to speak for a person that's at your table, and then 3 minutes as a group, and you're just kind of conversing with one another. It's no right or wrong answer, but you're questioning one another on different things, and he would be the moderator, or whoever, you know, would be over that certain day. It is going to be, I think, 2 or 3 sessions. You can't do it in one session, but it's very detailed. I took a lot away from it. Enjoyed it. It made me really think, critically think about perceptions and things of that nature. So I truly believe that the Human Rights Commission should really be there in force, but also the judge, the mayor, the council, the magistrates, police officers and their chief and firefighters and things of that nature, because you know, this deals with daily life. I know that the Ministerial Association actually started this.
Okay, that was
So-
really my question, who was sponsoring?
And then I believe that the Sisters of Charity were interested, and they were going to ask if they wanted to have it out there. So Carl Lusk is going to spearhead that, and then I'm just trying to get people involved and coordinate a date and places to have it.
Okay. Keep us informed.
I will, I promise.
Keisha, who was Dr. Kwong?
He is from Minnesota, and he's a professor. I believe since then he is retired. He's retired. His daughter and son-in-law, or it might be vice versa, live here in Bardstown. They opened up a business, a tailoring business out in Maple Hill. So he travels back and forth. And if you would like his email address, I'd be more than glad to give it to you, because he's willing to speak to anyone about it, just getting people engaged into this. So I'd be more than willing to pass it along for you, because he's heavily involved in education and things of that nature as well. So, but I did have a question for you guys while we're on comments. A young lady contacted me in reference to handicap access to the Dean Watts field out there. And I was going to call the magistrates and judge as well. But what happened, she went to Louisville to a tournament for some kind of recreational, I don't know if it was softball, what have you. She had to stay in her car because there was no access at that field. Well, it happened at Dean Watts too, and I was like, really? We don't have handicap access for you out there? So she had to sit in her car, and I promised her that I would contact them and you know, see what was going on and why she had to sit in her car and watch her daughter, you know, play from the field. So I just didn't know if you guys were up on, you know, what is, you know, they are supposed to have handicap access out at the ball fields and things of that nature, right?
Well, I'm thinking that, you know, wherever the public gathers, but I can check that out.
Okay.
Do you know, is she
I
in
know
a
the,
wheelchair?
you know,
Is she in a wheelchair?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, uh-huh.
So what-
She is in a wheelchair.
What would be
She's
an
in a
example? Has she ever
wheelchair.
been anywhere where there was one handicap access to a field? Has she ever been, so would she give us an example, like she wants a path or a? what-
I can
Yeah.
contact her and get more
An idea.
concrete. I sure will.
I know sometimes they have ramps up to bleachers, but there's a bleacher problem, or is it been resolved? At the DY.
I don't know if he's pulled, I don't know if Judge has pulled the bleachers from elsewhere, but no.
Well, from out at the,
I mean, it was a
They're gone from
problem, you know,
DY,
not
aren't
access, but it was a problem, seating problem for everyone.
Concrete had, you know, the concrete, I remember there were 3 wheelchairs for people in it, but they had something over, you know,
Yeah.
like a lean-to or something, they was on concrete, I remember that.
I would think it would have to do with the difference between gravel and paved sidewalks. And, you know, and a ramp up onto a sidewalk is what I would think the
Or
accessibility issue
they
for
could just
somebody
drive
in a
their car over
wheelchair.
there and that's it. right?
Yeah, well, as, I don't know what, I'm not real familiar with D-Marts, but I know that there are a lot of sidewalks.
Haven't been out there for a while, so I can't say.
So, go look and inquire. All right, thanks for bringing that to our attention, because no one has contacted us. Is there anything else? Do we need to adjourn yet?
I'll make a motion to.
We have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The meeting